ground. Well, it worked. And so we went from this low voltage to high voltage, which is over here. This is strictly a what they call a Jacob's ladder. I'm only doing this just to show that there's high voltage here. That's all. Any 8th grade student can build this. There's nothing spectacular. It's just to show high voltage. I've also built Tesla coils, but I don't have one here right now. Let's see. We got it right here. There we go. Ouch. I got it. There we go. That's the high voltage needed for an Eon. Then over here, what we do, just to show you how many volts is operating here, for every, let me shut that off, for every quarter of an inch, there is 5,000 volts. Approximately. But this is a 60 amp transformer, so we have more than 15,000 volts here, see? So that's what we need, but even this isn't high enough in the craft. What we do, we raise it up to the thousands, hundreds of thousands of volts and millions of times per second, the frequencies. Okay, so this is one of the early magnetic experiments. This was on the famous Long John show in 1956, which was a 50,000 watt station and covered 27 states. And all the engineers and scientists were sitting around the desk watching this work, and at that time it lit a small flashlight bulb, and it continued to go by itself, but this is just the principle. There she goes. It's just a propulsion type thing. Now, we come over here, and we have...
Excuse me, Howard. Go ahead and flip that a couple of times. So
okay.
You know where it is.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
No, go ahead and leave it on the counter.
Okay.
Or
yeah.
does it work there?
All right, fine. You see, the later models had a spring in there. I didn't have to do it with my fingers, and then the flashlight bulb, it lit. But we had a heavier wheel on here, a flywheel, which wanted to continue to stay in motion. I think I'll have to go over here to explain the craft.
Okay. I want to move over just a little. That was an interesting show.
We had a pilot there. That's credibility. You know, when you get a pilot, and they really came down on him for seeing the UFO, you know. Right there with that thing. Boy, I'll tell you. Can't escape it.
Howard, keep facing the camera.
Yeah, I know. But how am I going to do that and still...
You can, because you know your subject so well. You don't have to point to anything.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, this is, as it says here, a copy of a 4-foot radio-controlled electrodynamic type of propulsion that flew in 1951 successfully, and the FBI brought it back to the shop and said, don't do that anymore, and the whole story is in the book. Now, what our goal is to build a 50 or 60 foot model which would have a ramp like this, and it's a people carrying model, and this is approximately the size of the men at 5'9" to 6 feet, which would make this 50, 60 feet plus or minus. And this is my goal. Now, of course, this runs into a lot of money, but there are some investors interested, but we haven't squared anything away yet. My original plan was to build it over in Piper Aircraft in the experimental section a few years ago when they were having a lot of financial problems, and I thought it might help them. We had a potential investor at that time, but he changed his mind, said, don't go away, I'll see you later. He said, I'm on another inventor's thing there where he was going to take oil off of water. So he was all tied up with that one. Well, we might hear from him yet. He wanted to put 8 million in it. Okay, well that's high voltage. Very high voltage. And this unit to your left will show a lower voltage which goes up in the air and stays up. It doesn't come down like this. So I'll have to get over here and do that, I guess. The theory that gravity is a push, not a pull. But even if it isn't, it works.
Can you move the chair back?
No, you're perfect right where you are. And I'm rolling.
You're rolling. This is a similar demonstration to the aluminum disc, which stays up for 1 second, and one pulse of energy cancels out gravity, which I think is a push. This is only my theory. But this one, I'm going to throw the switch now, and instead of coming back down again, it's going to stay up. So the secret is several of these in a craft opposite each other, one facing down, one facing up, canceling out gravity in both directions and keeping the craft in the air. Okay?
Sure, let's let me get that one more time.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
Just here. All right, go ahead. Now that's coming down like it's really, really heavy.
It is. Weighs almost 4 pounds. Yeah. And that's a wood plug under there.
Okay, can you lift it up once more for me?
Here we go. That's heavy. You know why I moved it over there? When it landed here, the whole house shook.
Go ahead and pop it again.
It's getting hot.
Okay, yeah, that's enough.
Huh?
That's, we
Got it?
enough. I'm going to go ahead and get a still of this.
Okay. You're doing good. Like I said, don't ever get old.
Now, how, I guess you take batteries up or what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but you see, if I had a black, I could show you
You don't have to show it in the book.
the cosmic